Hello everyone. Phoenix61 here with your Legends news update. Day is upon us. I think this Monday, what will be November 3rd, will be the next update. So if you are interested in the Laffy is what our current campaign ship is, right? You've got through the weekend to finish up the campaign to unlock that ship, right? So, but a lot of interesting and new things coming. We do have a bonus code up here in the top right for that you can redeem on the Legends website. There was another one in their update video. There is an update video out there as well. So I'm going to put both of them in the description, right? So check out the description, make it easy, cut and paste into the redeem section, right? But a lot to cover here. I want to dive into the French. There's a new alternate line of French destroyers coming, and there's some new stuff. So let's take a look, right? So Wargaming put out this video a couple of days ago as the teaser for it, right? And of course now there's more information. We'll play through, right? So these these are an alternate line of French destroyers. They're going to have engine boost and smoke screen, but they're also going to have incendiary torpedoes, right? So these are going to be torpedoes that have a chance to deal fire damage. They still will also have a chance to deal flood damage, although they said it's reduced. And then part of the mechanic and shtick with these is the further they travel, the faster they're going to move, and the more likely the higher fire setting chance as well. They'll have a higher fire setting chance the further they travel also, right? So pretty interesting mechanic. They're going through some of the stats here, pretty high damage, but that's at like that max, probably max range kind of thing. So we'll have to see how people end up playing these things. But yes, very, very new, interesting concept here. They are going to be a little bit slower than the other French destroyers, I believe. Hit points are going to be very, very similar or on par for destroyers at these tiers. So yeah, just like all sorts of things to kind of just keep in mind, right? Like I don't think this is anything like game breaking or super game changing, but yeah, as you can see here, right, you're going to have chances for flood and fire, although I believe they did comment that the flood chance would be a little bit less, right? So, but yeah, so super, super interesting, right? So I'm excited for these. And so we will, we'll go through the updates now, right? So this is going to be effective November 3rd, I believe, right? So we're going to have Black Friday stuff. There's a new campaign ship. It looked like we'll go through and I'll call out the things that I think are important, but a tier 7 British cruiser that looked very similar to the Defense, which is a legendary tier 1 that was a campaign or something a while ago. And so I'm like, I was all excited about the Defense because it's, is an interesting cruiser layout of turrets and mechanics, right? And then of course I like, the heat has died off of it, right? I don't like it that much anymore. But anyway, so a new tier 7 British cruiser, new French destroyers. They're going to be in early access, right? We talk about early access. I talk about early access on my channel all the time. Don't get too excited, right? Just wait till they come into normal access, right? If you don't get drops from the crates, wait till they come into early access. Black Friday, there's going to be, of course, there's to me, Black Friday is not any sort of like Black Friday sale, right? It's just new things to spend your money on that still cost as much as any other thing would cost in World of Warships Legends. And then Asymmetric Brawl, we'll talk about that. It's going to look like basically a 5 versus a whole bunch of AI ships, right? So not player versus player, it'll be player versus enemy or environment, whichever way you swing there. So that'll be interesting, right? Let's go into it, right? I'm not going to watch their video. If you're interested in maintenance times and stuff, they're here. Take a peek, take a pause. And then there's their image of the tier 7 British cruiser, right? So they'll have that. And then, we'll go in here, right? So campaign featuring tier 7 premium cruiser Nottingham, Black Friday event with new black ships. We'll skim through these, right? they're basically like lately what the game's been doing is just making copies of ships and not even changing the stats, if at all. Like not even changing the stats, just giving them a different paint job, and so they'll have a black paint job, right? A French alternate line of destroyers will be in early access, right? So we can always wait till the next update, and then there'll be normal access so you can grind them normally. Second stage of the Road to New Year, that's the marathon event where you collect the ship parts. Mercure coming for Steel in December, so that's going to be a French, I think, tier 8 or legendary tier. We'll take a look and see if they say right, but my guess is it's the equivalent of the new French alternate destroyer line, and that'll be the higher, a premium version, higher level tier ship, right? So asymmetric brawls, 5 players versus 12 bots, one-on-one ranked battle, so I'm excited for that. And then a special missions, gamepad control for mobile. So if you have a game controller, you can be able to link to if you play on mobile. I do not. I think I absolutely hate trying to play on mobile. I sign into mobile with every update because there's rewards for signing in, and then that's all I do. Balance changes and various improvements, we'll go through some of those. But yeah, here is the Nottingham. Here's the stats that they're putting out there on this thing. I don't know. I'd be interested to see. I think the torpedo tubes in the video, they showed them on the side, right? Whereas the defense had them in the front, which was kind of nice. And you could front launch torpedoes, and it's awesome. That's one thing I like about that. Smoke generator concealment looks pretty typical for the tier. That is one thing that I really disliked about the defense is its concealment, particularly while firing guns in smoke. The smoke firing penalty is brutal on that ship. So hopefully it's not the same, right? Hopefully there's some tweaks to this one, right? But 3 turrets of 3 guns, right? So 203 millimeters. And then here is the campaign rewards, right? So the top row or the bottom row is if you don't purchase the Admiralty backing, which is, the 2,500 doubloons. So if you do, which is, it's about $10, right? You'll also, in addition, get the gold, yellow colored things as well. So, right, there's some more ship parts. You get a few doubloons back. And then you'll get some extra containers, right? Black Friday, Fall, Commander, right? But the nice ones would be the early access containers for the French alternate line destroyers, right? So then, of course, you get Nottingham. So that'll be nice, right? So I'll probably pick it up. I usually do. I try to skip a campaign here and there if there's like something I'm like, I don't want that. But there's the listed out rewards. If you're interested, push pause. I like the graphic better. This is if you do get Admiralty backing, right? So here's the Black Friday stuff. We'll go through they did post the containers, so I'll take a peek at those and we'll go through those as well. But yeah, from November to December 1st, there'll be Black Friday stuff, right? I saw it's like discounted as, put that in air quotes. But they're like chain bundles and stuff. So there's going to be a new Black Friday crate or container that's going to have a chance to drop Black Friday centric ships, right? So it's just premium variants of already existing ships. Usually we'll have to see, right? I'll take a peek on Monday when this stuff comes out. But that's what they've been doing lately is literally slapping on a different paint job and calling it a completely different ship. But there's your code, right? Like I said, I'm going to try and I'll put those in there's 2. There's one from the video and then the one that they posted here. So I'll post those in the description. So they'll be easy cut and paste. French alternate destroyer line in early access. So this was the video that we went through, right? So, but yeah, new line of French tier 4 through 7 alternate destroyers coming to early access. So they'll have the strong focus on fast torpedoes that can cause fire on enemy ships and gain speed and fire setting potential the further they travel. So quite an interesting concept. So I'm excited for that. It's bringing something new. We also have at some point, I think maybe like the December update. I don't know when it is going to happen, but there's also the Japanese hybrid battleships are coming at some point as well. They've kind of teased that also. This is the marathon ship, right? So this started with the current update or previous update, whatever you want to call it. but it looked like I forget what this was. It looks like a French battleship. I keep forgetting. Keep collecting ship parts to receive. Oh, it's a pan-European flag, right? So second stage of the New Year marathon. Some of you may notice that completing the Road to New Year mission was locked behind owning a legendary tier ship, which wasn't entirely fair to many players, right? So if you were a newer player and you didn't have a legendary ship, I think one of the missions required you to play a legendary ship, obviously, right? So, but it looks like if you have purchased, right, if you are a veteran player and could do that, if you had the legendary ship and you got Admiralty backing last update, and then you also get it this coming update, you could potentially get this, you could unlock this ship within this update, is the way I'm kind of understanding what they're putting out here. So we'll have to see. And then along that, right, there's what were those? Along the road to that, they're giving some of the, what looks like the holiday event currency. I forget what they were called, but it looked like you would collect some of those as well. So it might be worth having, right? Because the holiday event stuff's going to be, that's always like crazy expensive. There's always an expensive ship. And then there's always expensive crates to open too. So we'll have to see how that goes. But right, if you're working your way through the marathon, that does have that added benefit. It looked like they were giving out some of the holiday currency, right? So along the way, but yes. I don't even know why I try to say it. Right. This is going to be, what does it say? Tier 8 premium destroyer, right? So my guess is this is going to be the tier 8 variant. That'll be premium. That'll have the possibly the fire setting chance torpedoes. Problem is it's going to be for steel. And that's usually pretty brutal. And I don't even think they're saying, they're just giving you ways to, hey, spend some money so that you can earn some steel so that you could buy this ship. I don't think they actually are telling us how much steel you actually need. So that'll be interesting. 5 versus 12 brawl. That'll be exciting. I'll definitely have to dig into that, see if we can have fun with that. One-on-one ranked battles for earning steel, right? So November 18th through 24th, it'll be tier 7 cruisers. And then the next season will be November 25th through December 1st, tier 7 battleships. Special missions. Don't forget to complete these missions for these rewards. Gamepad control, balance changes. I kind of want to take a peek at the Ministry of Balance. I was kind of interested in some of these nerfs. Louisiana and Gdansk. I don't know. Some of these I didn't really think needed nerfs, but Louisiana is a pretty powerful ship. My gripe there would be, right, the folks that paid for it, right, that bought the ship with, that had to spend real money last year to get Louisiana, of course, have had it with, they'll have played it much longer without this nerf, but it's really not that big of a deal, right? But now we can all get it for free through the Bureau. So I have had a chance to, right? I played with it a little bit. I haven't, I really like the ship, and I don't play with it enough. Some changes to armor, right? So, and then some tweaks to maps and spawning and stuff for like that, right? So if you're interested in that stuff, take a pause. But let's take a quick peek here at the Ministry of Balance. I don't normally go through here, but I was kind of interested in it. Sims is getting a buff to reload, right? Faster reload there. And torpedoes, it looks like, as well. Range and more alpha damage. Interesting. Okay. And then Moonshua, I can't say that. And new version of Munchin Black Bee. I know I'm saying that wrong. The chin is silent or something there, but some buffs there. Brisbane and new Brisbane Black will have faster reload. Louisiana, this is one I was interested in, right? So reload time is being increased 2 seconds. And then the torpedo speed for the airstrike, they're slowing down the torpedoes, right? So I don't know. I think that's fair, right? I wouldn't, but yeah. Anyway, Des Moines is getting increase in its damage output there. So that's kind of nice. Main battery for Gdansk, right? Main battery reload time increased from 5 to 7 seconds. What is that? That's like, 40% increase in time? That's pretty brutal, right? And Gdansk is these ships have already had a nerf with the Fox Flare perk on the commander being nerfed as well. So They've apparently think it's still too still too powerful, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure they look at I'm sure they've got tables of, win rates for specific ships and or something, right? And that's where they lead to doing things like this. But anyway, Holland is getting a much needed buff, I think, right? I play that ship every once in a while just to do it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle. So I'm glad to see increase reload time reduced, right? So more guns, and then more damage for torpedoes, and then you're getting a radar consumable now as well. 2 charges for that. Gearing and Gearing R, main battery range increase. So that's kind of cool. 3 smokes instead of 2. Right. And then so for these are the Dutch cruisers here. It looked like basically what they're doing for the most part is the airstrike is they're reducing the accuracy of the airstrike. So the percentage of, and they're doing it for all 3 of these, right? The percentage of bombs falling near central aim point decreased from 66 to 50%, right? I don't think that's anything crazy. This is I think the Soviet, right? The Russian destroyer line, some tweaks there, right? Nothing like that's not as interesting, right? And some armor changes. Right, so that's fine. Oh, this one was interesting too. This is the Spanish cruiser commander from the calendar event when the Spanish cruisers were new and in early access. So this is the commander that has the legendary perk choice for the 3rd shot in your ready rack. So what they're doing here is they're adding an additional skill, strategic premonition. The ready rack reload time, improving the ready rack reload time by up to 16% and allowing the ready rack to reload 1 shell at a time if there are shells remaining. Loading each shell will take the full reload time. However, if you fire while reloading a shell, the reload time will reset. So kind of interesting. So what I was, and I get why they're doing it. So basically what I do when I play these ships and I want a full reload is I will, right, say you've got 3 shells in your ready rack and you fire 2, but then you don't want to fire the 3rd. It's not going to start the full reload until you either fire that 3rd, or what I would do is cycle between HE shells and AP shells, and then that would trigger the full reload. So they're trying to basically it'll start reloading is what it sounds like to me, right? We're gonna have to see this, but basically it's gonna start reloading, but you'll still have those ready rack shells ready to go if you need them, right? So that'll be kind of interesting. We'll have to play with that. I didn't really think that something like that was necessary. I thought, just be smart about your usage. I think that's part of the shtick with those, right? Now they're making it easier, right? A little more automated. Some changes to maps and stuff here, right? This wasn't too crazy excited about. Let's talk about the containers that are coming. Well, obviously I like to go through these on the Monday video if I make a Monday video as well. But so 2 new Black Friday ones. This will be the new one, right? So always keep in mind, right? So you're going to be able to get some of these for free by playing the campaign and missions and stuff. But your biggest chances of drops are just normal everyday items that you get from playing the game. XP, promotion orders, camos, whatever have you, right? So there's 4% chances for Sims and we're just going to say German cruiser. 3% chance for Alabama and Graf Zeppelin. That Graf Zeppelin is the German Tier 7 aircraft carrier. And then a 0.3% for Brisbane B, right? So, and then as always, it has these guaranteed reward systems. And if you already own a ship, it takes it out of the pool, right? So nothing crazy there, totally as expected. So these are all ships that have already existed in the game, right? They're just putting a B at the end of them for black. And my guess is, I can't guarantee this, but lately what they've been doing is literally it has the same stats as the already existing ships. That's what they've been doing. Really, they used to tweak the stats a little bit, right? But they haven't been doing that this year. These are a new Black Friday container that has a chance to drop old Black Friday containers. So that's what that is, right? So you're guaranteed to get a Black Friday crate out of it. And it's all split even amongst the previous years, start going all the way back to 2019. right? So whatever ships and stuff were available in those containers, you'll have those chances to get those ones as well, right? So, and then these, right? We've talked about these in the last updates when we've had early access ships coming. So this update's going to have early access for the new French destroyers, and again, the vast majority of your drops are going to be just common items for the game, and then it's a 6% for the tier 4, 2% for the tier 5, 0.5% for the tier 6, 0.3% for the tier 7, and then it does have a 0.1% for this was an already existing La Terrible, right? That's an already existing destroyer in the game, right? So that's not a new one, but premium ship there. I'm pretty sure that's a premium one, right? Anyway, and then the big version of the crates just have slightly better chances, right? Slightly, better stuff in overall, but then slightly better chances for the to get a ship in early access, basically. But still, even this one is 1% chance for the tier 7, right? So it's pretty small, right? So just keep all of that in mind, guys, right? So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. That's going to be our video for the day. As always, special thanks to channel members and those of you following my channel. But yeah, this is going to be our video. Make sure you're subscribed. My icon will show up down in the bottom right. And then again, make sure you're right. I'm going to put these codes, right? There's 2 of them. There's one from a video and then one from the patch notes here. I'll drop those in the description of the video here so you have an easy cut and paste into the rewards, right? But thanks again, guys. Legends videos every day, so make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Also, as always, keep an eye out for me on live stream.